Okay, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Online. Just take a moment to check our board here. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube, this channel here. Make sure when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you hit the notification button. And most importantly, check us out, www.bwtmonline.com. Okay, so we're following up from the Central 5 story. As you know, Ava DuVernay has done an excellent series on the Central 5. When They See Us, that is currently out on Netflix, and we spoke about that earlier in our previous feature. Now we're going to go a little further into it. And the president, then entrepreneur, Mr. Donald Trump, businessman, had plenty to say on it when asked his opinion on it back then. So we're going to go back in history and see what Mr. Trump has had to say and whether anything has changed since he made those statements. Okay. So this article is from the UK's Express. The article was done on June the 3rd. And it's by a lady by the name of, or it could be a man, Molly Mitchell. Okay, might not even be their name. But anyway, this is what they wrote. And the subheading is, what did Donald Trump say about Central Park 5? When They See Us includes excerpts of Donald Trump, who was a high-powered real estate developer at the time, said about the Central Park 5. Speaking to US Today, director and writer Ava DuVernay said, "There's a world in which I actually cast an actor to be Trump and get into that piece of it. But this story is about the accused boys, which became exonerated men. So the decision was just to have him in as needed and let him speak himself through clips, which we use very judiciously. I found that whatever he had to say wasn't as fascinating or interesting to me as what the men had to say." DuVernay introduces Trump's voice in episode 2 as a journalist asked Yusuf Salam's mother what she thought after Trump said he was adamant the 5 were guilty and even called for the death penalty to be brought back to the state of New York. When They See Us then includes a clip of the interview Mr. Trump did on NBC, in which he told interviewer Brian Gumbel he would love to be a well-educated black. In response, the women laugh and one asks, what is a black? Salam's friend responds, "Don't worry about his 15 minutes are almost up." Sharon Salam, played by Arjun Ellis, then says, "They want to kill my son. That devil wants to kill my son. You're going to take an ad out about killing my son?" Her comment was in reference to a full-page advertisement Mr. Trump took out all 4 of the New York City's major newspapers in May the 1st, 1989, in an advertising campaign which cost $85,000, the equivalent of £67,277. The headline in the Daily News read, "Bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police." The advert said, in part, Major Cooch has stated that hate and rancor should be removed from our hearts. I do not think so. I want to hate these muggers and murderers. They should be forced to suffer. Yes, May Coach, I want to hate these murderers, and I always will. Criminals, how can our great society tolerate the continued brutalization of its citizens by crazed misfits? Criminals must be told that their civil liberties end when an attack on our safety begins. Trump did not mention the Central 5 in the advert, but in an interview with Larry King, he confirmed it was these 5 men he was referring to. He said, I had some women the other day stick a microphone in my face from one of the major networks. But don't you have compassion for these young men that raped and beat and mugged and everything else this wonderful woman? And I said, look, this woman was raped, mugged, and thrown off a building. Thrown off a building on top of everything else. I said, of course, I hate these people. And let all hate these people, because maybe is what we need if we're going to get something done. In 2002, Matthijs Reyes came forward as the Central Park attacker several years after the 5 men had been convicted and jailed for the brutal crime. After the investigation into the case, which uncovered DNA linking Reyes to the crime, he was found. McRae, Santana, and Richardson were exonerated in 2002, having already spent between 6 to 14 years in prison. Speaking to The Guardian in 2016, Salam said Trump was the fire starter. He added, common citizens were being manipulated and swayed into believing that we were guilty. Donald Trump has still not issued an apology for what he said the Central Park 5, despite the 5 being innocent. After Reyes confessed to the crime, one of the defendant's lawyers, Michael Warren, said, I think Donald Trump, at the very least, owes a real apology to this community and to the young men and their families. Warren argued Trump's advertisement played a role in securing conviction, saying he poisoned the minds of many people who lived in New York City and who rightfully had a natural affinity to this victim. But even after the 5 were acquitted, Mr. Trump went on to make more allegations against the men. In 2014, when the 5 men had won 41 million, basically 32 million pounds in the UK settlement from the city of New York, Mr. Trump wrote an opinion piece for the New York Daily News in which he called the settlement a disgrace. He added, settlement doesn't mean innocence. Speaking to detectives on the case and try listening to the facts. These men do not exactly have the past of angels. Then in 2016, Trump was running for president. He again alleged that the 5 men were guilty, despite DNA evidence proving their innocence. When They See Us is streaming on Netflix now. The article contains affiliate links, which means that's to do with basically just a disclaimer. But yeah, that is it really. Donald Trump, even after the young men have been exonerated, even after the young men have been made innocent, even after there has been settlements and payments, even after the men have, even the lawyers said, apologize, this man still is adamant. So it is what it is. This is coming out of Donald Trump's mouth. This is what the president of America believes and still feels in his heart. I hope that when he is being investigated, that people are investigating him as they have investigated these young people. And as far as Trump's concerned, they're guilty. As far as half the world are concerned, in terms of Trump's affairs in Russia, they feel he's guilty too. So maybe he should be thrown behind bars and asked questions later. I'm sure the American public at large may want to see that, may not want to see that. But it's, these young people's lives, these men, these fully grown men now, their lives will never be the same. And as one Yusuf Salam said, no matter how much money you give us, that time away, 6 to 14 years in prison, will never be recaptured for that money. Some of them, they're all young boys. So police report now they're all happily married or in good relationships and all doing what they can to do things for their community. And we will try at BWT Online to try and reach out to all those men that are doing positive things in their community. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think about what Donald Trump has had to say, the president of America? What are your thoughts on it? And what does this say for the state of America with the head of state making statements like this still, even as president? This is BWTM Online. Don't forget to watch When They See Us, which is now available on Netflix. Let us know your thoughts on that. This is BWTM Online. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, and share the video. We're out. Thanks for watching.